This is an incredibly important project for Glanbia, and it started with a partnership that we have with a milk member, that is DFA and Select, which started in 2004. We've got a massive amount of support and confidence from our shareholders around the world, our board, and our executive team. This is the largest single project financially that Glanbia has ever taken on.
Over 400,000 square foot of building space. By far the largest, most complex precast concrete structure we have built to date. There are over 2,100 precast elements incorporated into over 220,000 square foot of precast concrete spaces.
There's 9 acres under roof. It's essentially 7 different buildings inside of one, all the way from the receiving plant down to the warehouse.
As you walk into this facility, there is a wow factor.
We will be the largest processor in Michigan on a single site.
We have 8 drive-through receiving bays capable of receiving over 8 million pounds of milk in any 24-hour period.
This plant will drastically reduce the transportation costs and also provide a quicker turnaround for those tankers.
We have 8 70,000 raw milk silos capable of holding a total of 560,000 gallons. That 8 million pounds of milk represents about 25% of all the milk that's going to be produced here in Michigan.
We will be taking the milk from literally hundreds of thousands of cows. The plant is purely one of the most advanced dairy facilities anywhere in the world. And we intend to run this plant for 30, 40, 50 years. And so getting it right at the start was critical.
We have 16 vats, all capable of making 10,000 pounds of cheese in every single batch. Throughout the 24-hour period, we will make a total of 850,000 pounds of cheese.
So you can walk through this plant from receiving, through cheese make, to cheese packaging, to the whey processing area, through the dryer, and to the dry packaging side. And it all looks like it was installed by a single contractor, which was our ultimate goal.
One of the unique features we have here at MWC is the ability to choose between 40-pound product or 640-pound cheese product.
When I walk this plant, it's extremely impressive to the eye, but what you don't see is the infrastructure.
What you're not seeing is the 15,000 feet of underground piping that starts from the warehouse, goes throughout the building to the lift station.
This project has in the neighborhood of 20,000 linear feet of cable tray.
50 miles of process piping, utility piping, and electrical control and power trays.
The 4 miles of buried process waste piping, all coming up in the exact location to that hub to catch that process waste.
One of the unique features in here is the combined pipe rack that S&S has used to carry all the pipe work above all the process equipment.
Over 3,100 stainless steel embed plates, some carrying over 7,000 pounds of suspended load.
As part of our water treatment systems, we engineered and installed 1 million gallon per day reverse osmosis system.
What you don't see in the process room is the HVAC equipment that's on the roof. It was really an effort between the vendors, the engineers, the HVAC, to optimize the aisle spacing, the equipment layouts, and the column locations and the floor slopes. You normally only notice a drain if it's installed poorly. But when I walk through the plant, I see hub drains that are located in the spaces that are needed.
One of the innovations that Shambach came up was using catch trays to prevent the water hitting the floor. So when we're on CIP, the valves will pulse and the liquid will go straight to the hub drain.
That plant needs to run around the clock every day, and so the utility systems have been planned to facilitate that. It has a level of redundancy that I've never seen in a food plant before.
The utilidor is over 1,000 feet long. That's over 3 football fields. So installing combined hanger frames that could support the miles of pipe and cable tray was a huge undertaking. Some frames are designed to carry over 20,000 pounds. Frames were prefabricated and delivered from our shop on rolling dollies so they could be placed onto the deck, positioned, raised, and welded in place with laser precision.
The pipe bridge was constructed to transfer 95,000 pounds an hour of permeate liquid across to Proliant so they can turn it into a permeate powder.
This is one of the best built, highest quality facilities in the dairy industry. The level of detail that can be achieved in 3D modeling is difficult to describe.
From day one, Shamba played a lead role in pulling all that information together.
Without the 3D model, we would have had a really tough time on site trying to make all these utility connections, electrical connections, process interconnecting piping, to make all that happen and provide a plant to Glanbia that they can be proud of.
Everybody got the same detailed diagrams instantaneously.
We kept a current model on multiple mobile workstations located throughout the construction areas for field coordination.
With the 1,450 piles and the 15,000 feet of pipe, having confidence in the model allowed us to go forward.
We had to put a ton of trust into Shamba.
Shamba was a really good partner to work with, very easy to communicate with, very easy to innovate with, and to problem solve throughout the entire project.
We pushed all of our vendors, including Shamba, come up with the best solution. Not necessarily the best that money could buy, just the best solution.
We were able to work together to find the best solutions in layouts, designs, etc.
The best solution isn't always the most expensive solution.
We were able to save thousands of tons of refrigeration, thousands of pounds of steam consumption every hour, and we reuse over 90% of the water from the facility.
We probably removed the roof a half dozen times so that we didn't have to build scaffolding inside the building to do all the overhead work. It saved everybody money.
When you look at the racks in the Utilidor, you'll see a space that was intentionally left in the middle of those racks because they're so wide to allow maintenance access up the middle. It's not more expensive to keep a space in the racks, it's just a feature that we can add at no cost that makes the operation better.
Shamba and Son as a company have such a high magnitude of experience. We can present different options for client to choose.
March came and we got word that a pandemic was starting.
I really believed that we were going to have to shut this project down because of the virus.
We started making provisions for how we're going to keep the place going and more specifically, how we're going to keep people safe. And we had not a single case of COVID on site for those 7 months. I absolutely feel that a miracle happened there.
And we were able to finish on time and under budget.
In October of 2020, the first cheese was produced.
When we went through what we call an RFP process, a request for a proposal process, we had 2 contractors that were at our top 2. I was personally leaning towards a contractor that we'd used before. Shamba came in and made a very strong case, so a little bit reluctantly we moved forward with Shamba. But I have to say I've been very pleased and so much that I would do it all again with Shamba.
I feel happy and proud for everyone that got to participate in the project because it is truly it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime projects.
The greatest satisfaction for me is when client look into what you've done and what you built and says thank you.
I think we have built one of the finest dairy plants in the world.